Now, many experts emphasize the importance of starting retirement savings early to take advantage of compound growth. But not everyone has had the opportunity to do so for whatever reason, whether it's due to career changes, financial setbacks, or maybe just simply a late start in planning. So joining us now for some tips on saving for retirement is certified financial planner Lauren Sprung, founder of Mitlin Financial and the author of the book Financial Planning Made Personal. Lawrence, good afternoon to you. How are you doing today?
I am great. Thanks for having me here, Don. Appreciate it.
Well, thanks for coming on. So for those who are getting a late start, what are some of the tips that you can tell us for them to, get along with saving?
Sure. I think one of the biggest mistakes we see very often are people who have companies that are making matching contributions to retirement plans, and they don't even realize it and may be giving up on quote unquote free money, which is, something that does not happen very often. So first and foremost, check with your employer and see if there is a retirement plan. If there is there a matching contribution? And make sure you're at least contributing what the minimum amount is to get that matching and that free money, because that will certainly help you working towards those retirement goals.
So talking about late starters specifically, are there any specific investment types or asset allocations that are better suited for them?
So, I mean, it really depends on what their personality and their risk profile is. Obviously, because they're behind the eight ball, so to speak, it might behoove them to be more aggressive than they ordinarily would have been, just to try to catch up a little bit. But they have to understand, on the other side of that equation is the fact that by taking on that additional growth opportunity, they also take on that additional risk to the downside. So they have to be completely comfortable with where they're at and what they're doing.
Is there any sort of rule of thumb when it comes to balance risk and reward when they have a shorter investment horizon?
So there are plenty of rules of thumb out there in terms of how to balance that allocation between stocks and bonds. The old rule used to be take 100 minus your age, and that's how much you should have in stocks. So for example, if you're a 60-year-old saving, if you take 100 minus 60, you should have a 40% allocation to stocks, 60% to bonds. But the reality is people are living longer, so they now have increased that to some degree in the rules of thumb to 110 to 120 minus your age to make sure you're staying on track. So if you know nothing else, you can use that as, or one of those as a rule of thumb. The other option is if you're investing in a company retirement plan, for example, they will typically have what we call age-based approaches where you pick what your age is when you plan to retire, and it will automatically adjust and move that allocation with where you are in your career and how close you are to retirement.
So apparently there's this new supersized catch-up contributions work for individuals aged 60 to 63. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, so now this year, brand new, you have to really be cognizant of a number of contribution limits. First and foremost, if you have a 401k available to you and you're under the age of 50, you can contribute a total of 23,500. If you're over the age of 50, but not ages 60 to 63, you can add an additional 7,500 and contribute 31,000 in total. This year, special supersize contribution, as you mentioned, if you happen to be ages 60 to 63, you can contribute the 23,500 plus an additional 11,250 for a total of 34,750. So I know there's a lot there. You have to be cognizant of where you fall in those ranges, how much you can contribute. So make sure you check in with your 401k plan and find out what the maximum amount is for you in 2025.
Can you also talk to us about some potential lifestyle adjustments, for those late starters that you would recommend who want to try to save aggressively?
Yeah, so saving aggressively comes with sacrifices today, right? So what you want to do is really be mindful of what your budget is. Go through your budget, find out and be aware of how much money's coming in, how much is going out, and where it's going out. Things that you definitely know you don't need, cut them out right away. If there are subscriptions that you thought were a great idea, you used 2 and 3 years ago, and you're not using it at them at all, get rid of them. If you have providers, cell phone, cable, alarm, things like that, that you've been a valued customer for a very long time, and perhaps they're offering better deals to new customers, contact them. Tell them that you want to stay loyal, but you would really appreciate getting that bill cut from where you are today to as if you're a new customer, and you'd be surprised. And then when you have all these savings, take it, allocate it to that retirement plan, and help you catch up faster.
So, we've talked about strategy for catching up on retirement savings, but can I also get your comments on the flip side where, more Americans than ever are apparently dipping into their retirement savings prematurely. So that's whether due to financial hardship or unexpected expenses. So how does withdrawing retirement funds early impact long-term financial security?
Yeah, that is a very difficult topic and a very, balanced approach. You have to be very mindful of what you're doing by taking that money out, because obviously you need that money or you may need access to it, but you may be doing a lot more harm than you know, because number one is the money coming out is going to be taxable to you. It's number two, if you're under 59 and a half, there's an additional 10% penalty. And then not to mention that you're now using the availability for that money to grow and earn and grow over a substantial amount of time. So $10,000 today taken out of your retirement plan could be the equivalent of $40,000 or $50,000 down the road, which could significantly hinder things, especially on a larger amount. So you might want to explore other things, like maybe taking a loan against the 401k, paying yourself back, and looking at other options before you totally withdraw that money from your retirement plan, perhaps doing more harm than good.
Well, all right, Lawrence, it's always great to speak with you. Great advice. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Don.